Hello and welcome to our program. We are going to discuss Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to China. This is the second meeting between the two leaders, President Jinping and Prime Minister Modi, that we are seeing in the last 8 months. We have with us Seema Mustafa, a well-known journalist and a political commentator. Seema, when we look at the two meetings that have taken place, and this is really within a short period of 8 months between two very large countries in the world, do you see in the outcome something that is significant that we can talk about, which has resulted from this two visits that the two sides have made?
No, actually not. That is what is very interesting. It's been high on atmospherics, and you almost felt that the normally reticent Chinese are being dragged into some kind of a showmanship, which our Prime Minister is quite famous and well known for. So you found that there are these selfies being taken and this terracotta museum visits and etc. But when it comes down to substantives, these two meetings, like you said, in 8 months should have covered a lot of ground, or at least broken some new ground. It doesn't seem to have happened.
One part of it is, of course, the last visit when President Jinping was in India was really marred by tensions in Ladakh. So this time nothing untoward has happened. That is one positive element. But the Chinese were really interested in two central issues, which they have been saying all the time. One is delineation of the line of actual control and as a part of the larger settlement of the border. And the second is, of course, the Silk Route argument they have been giving, that India should join the Belt and Road program, the new Silk Route, which will span Eurasia, as it were. Both don't seem to find any positive mention.
I wouldn't say that something didn't happen. A little bit happened, and I would say that it is the usual Chinese subtle way of making it happen. That on the day that Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, landed in China, the state-owned television showed a map without Arunachal Pradesh or Jammu and Kashmir on it while covering the visit. Now that wasn't necessary, that could have been ignored or avoided, but it was flagged. The issue was flagged in a manner which we couldn't raise it beyond a point, and yet it was flagged. So that little subtle Chinese touch was there. And I think in terms of strategic issues, I mean they say they have signed 24 agreements in $22 billion, etc., which is yet to materialize, like memorandum of understandings. But in strategic issues, where have we gone? We're not really sure. Arunachal is still flagged. In fact, the Chinese have reversed their position on it over the years. Jammu and Kashmir, again, the same issue. It's been raised again in different ways while they were silent about it a long time ago. Then on the Silk Route, there has been no progress about India joining because of the maritime concerns and India's problems with the South China Seas and the other string that we are joining, the Vietnam, Japanese, etc., Australia.
Essentially the Americans.
Essentially
more
the Americans.
Than the others.
Essentially the Americans. American-driven links against China. So we can't get onto the Silk Route. Then the nuclear suppliers group. Now they are saying, oh well, China has said, okay, it has mentioned it, but there has been no commitment of any kind. I mean, there's no progress forward. SCO, they said that they will look at our full membership, that we might get, but again not a commitment. The UN Security Council permanent membership, they've again said nothing except the usual rhetoric. So on strategic issues also, there has been no real give.
The only positive element one can talk about are some of the economic issues you already talked about, which are MOUs, but also on the Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank. There is again a mention, again nothing concrete, but there is a mention which India has also joined. And also the economic corridor, the China, Bangladesh, Myanmar, India, this corridor that has been talked about, which economically would be important, but again there are really the concrete ground realities don't seem to see as a priority of Government of India. Though it does seem that the other governments are willing, it doesn't seem that we are pressing for that, though it's mentioned in the agreement. So overall, nothing like, for instance, the economic corridor with Pakistan, where of course Azad Kashmir issue is there. that corridor seems to be much more foregrounded in China-Pakistan relationship. This corridor that we are talking about in Bangladesh, Myanmar, India and China just finds a sort of small mention. So again, nothing very significant.
Nothing very significant, nothing which would justify the kind of atmospherics that were created around the two visits, the one here and the one, our Prime Minister's there. So that nothing seems to justify it. Now the fact that you're engaged or you're talking, that's something that's been happening ever since Atal Bihari Vajpayee when he was the Prime Minister, and through Manmohan Singh's regime. You can't ignore a big neighbor like this. You have to have some levels of engagement. But whether there has been any progress and where it's going, we don't have any idea from these visits.
So overall, in the investments made by both sides, we don't seem to see the results in any positive
Yes,
way.
and it remains, with any relationship with China is going to be hinged on some of the key concerns that they have. On Tibet, on Dalai Lama, on the border discussions, etc. So the South China Seas, the maritime cooperation that India is already entering into with countries that China thinks is opposed and sees as opposed to it. Now, they will also see where we are going with all this. So I really don't know what the second year, we're completing 1 year of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whether the second year, what is there in whatever they have done till now, which would allow us to make a correct prediction as to what the second year will entail in India-China relationship. I don't see much.
Geostrategically, it's clear that India has decided to go with the United States.
Yes.
That little window that we might have an independent foreign policy, some reversal that Manmohan himself had done towards the end of his regime. That has not happened. We are sort of back into where we were, which is a close alignment with the United States in terms of its geostrategic interests. And therefore, geostrategically a containment of China, though not explicitly stated.
Not explicitly said, but it is there. This is the signal that's been given out in all the visits that the Prime Minister has made, the choice of visits, the countries that he has gone to. So I think it's been very clear where we are going, and in between there is this one visit. And I don't know, somehow every time we have a Prime Minister, even Manmohan Singh, and so it's true of Narendra Modi, is certain kind of an attitude, maybe encouraged by a bureaucracy, that the other country is full of fools, and you can paper over a whole bunch of things, and you can say whatever you want to say, and they will believe it. So the same kind of an attitude approach would be. But I think it was again a grandstanding occasion for the Prime Minister. It provided him a huge platform. He stood over there and he spoke to the world from China.
Actually spoke to India from there. That's how it comes, because I don't think rest of the world, if you don't make any significant progress or change, is going to look upon it and give it a lot of news value, which it didn't
Interesting,
have.
it doesn't. The world media hasn't covered it. It's barely covered. It's not even covered it.
Because
there was nothing to cover.
Because all you got is terracotta soldiers.
Yes.
Now that's not news. That's really
Or the 1 year,
pictures.
or the 1 year of the election, Lok Sabha, which he spoke in Shanghai to the Indian community, which was a rah-rah event, and said that, look, this is where I am, and do you remember me, and do you remember the terrible days that you went through?
But that's really not India-China relationship.
All domestic.
The last point that we would I would ask you is that accepting that geostrategically we are in different parts. India thinks containment of China, competition with China. China thinks essentially that it's a really rising global power, and it wants to, in that sense, get into equations with US, Russia. India is one of its concerns. They have dehyphenated Pakistan and India economically. And I think that's where both sides seem to see possibilities without getting into the politics of international relations. Do you think that at least has some potential in the future?
I think it does, but it does have always a potential, a dehyphenation, and if you're just doing the economic side, but it always has a limited potential. You can never realize much more than a certain amount. Even with the Americans who we are going along with, it's a limited potential. There's so many things that come in the way. Even the nuclear reactors, the nuclear liability law is coming in the way of that. So I think, yes, they will be able to realize a lot, but the economy is always sort of muzzled strategic considerations, and if these are not addressed, at least addressed to a certain satisfaction of both countries, I don't see even that proceeding to the level that we would like it.
Thank you, Seema. It's been good talking to you, and we'll keep on talking about these issues as it develops. Thank you.